Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Hasbullah and I'm a senior lecturer working in Malaysia, and except from my parents and a very few close friends, not many knows that I was accepted into one of the top oil and gas company in Malaysia before I became a lecturer. It is lucrative, but the reason why I turned that down is a story for another day. Getting in the oil and gas industry means that you will learn a lot of amazing things, and not to mention, the paycheck is quite good. But more than that, the reputation that you gain by being in the oil and gas industry could set you up for excellent job opportunities should you choose to change the industry in the future. Because of this, many of the future engineering graduates aims to be in the oil and gas industry. However, good things doesn't come easy, so not many are even willing to try. I admit that the competition is high, but the people that actually got in, like myself, knows a thing or two about the journey to get you into the industry. So in this video, I like to give you 5 tips to give you the edge over the other applicants out there based on my own experience. Of course, everything I'm going to mention is going to be listed here in the timestamp on your screen, so you can skip around the video if you feel like it. Let's get right to it. First of all, we usually tend to get a little intimidated while thinking about applying a job in an oil and gas company. As someone who has been on the inside, I can tell you that if you are stationed in an office, the working conditions are similar with any other industries. Now, the challenge is to get you on the other side of the fence. So firstly, you need to have the right mindset and not to be intimidated by the prospect of a phone interview, face-to-face interview, interview camp, personality test, and other things that this company do to ensure that they hire the right person. What you need to do is just take it one step at a time and worry about it when the time comes. You need to remember that the admission process itself is very valuable in terms of experience that you gain, which means that you can actually leverage that experience each time you move to the next interview. Now, the second tip is my favorite one. This is what I personally use to get into the oil and gas industry. The reason why this is my favorite is that the requirement entry for an internship is much lower than that of the actual job. They understand that you have no experience and limited knowledge. Although it sounds counterintuitive, this is where you as an intern has the most to gain and little to lose. Because you don't have experience, what you learn during an internship at the oil and gas industry is massive, and by the end of the internship, they will consider hiring you as they already spend their resources to train you. Some companies even pay their interns. But even if they don't pay, I suggest you still go purely just to get experience and networking. Compared to an actual employee which already has their own niche such as piping, safety or stress analysis, an intern has a chance to learn everything. At this point, whatever you learn adds value to your knowledge, so when you are ready for an interview after graduated, just talking about these things that you learn during internship would wow the interviewers. As a proof, I went to 2 walk-in interviews during my final year, and I was the only one ever invited to their second interviews at their HQ. All because I've listed that I know how to design a valve with piggable bore, how to use PDMS, which is the industry-leading software for oil and gas, and I know the mechanism of the business from upstream to downstream. Because of this, I knew that they were going to hire me even before the interview is completed. Although there are companies that get their employees using series of interviewers by their recruitment division, some are tougher than others. A few large companies have what they call recruitment days, where they invited you to a 3 or 5 days camp where they have series of programs and interviews lined up for you. They will test your problem-solving skills, and not only technical issues but the managerial issues as well. The one that I attended has a session where they gave you a folder of information about a problematic fictitious company where you have to figure out the solution in 30 minutes and present it to the fictitious board of directors. Now, I attended this camp during my 3rd year in university. I had 1 more year to go and not a lot of confidence. Even hearing the word board of directors is very intimidating for me, so for this particular interview, I did not succeed. This goes back to my very first point, that is not to get intimidated by the prospect of difficult interviews. During this time, they also tested my ability to work in groups, whether I'm a follower or leaders, and other interview sessions. In the final day, they let us go and came back with the results a few days later. But as it was 2008 where the economy is down, only 1 out of 7 of us was hired. Now, this advice is more of a general advice and that is not only applicable for oil and gas but also for other industries. You need to have your CV always ready and up to date. And when I say CV, it is not necessarily the physical CV, but also the online profile of yourself. On top of the usual social media profile that you have, such as Facebook or Instagram, also create a professional account such as LinkedIn profile. This profile is basically an online CV for your employer's human resource department to have a quick glance should he or she decides to call you for an interview. This is also their main source to look for your contact details, so make sure that it's always up to date. If you are really interested to be in the oil and gas industry, it wouldn't hurt to take a few optional classes during your undergraduate studies that are related to oil and gas. Usually in the undergraduate program, particularly during the final year, you will have options to take on optional subjects. So choose subjects that you think might be useful for the oil and gas industry. Subjects such as piping system, plant design, turbo machinery, engineering design are all very useful to the industry. When you have those subjects in your CV, it is likely that your future employer will shortlist your CV rather than the other candidates. Also learn about the industry standards such as ASTM and British standards. This will be your main reference when you get into the industry later, so knowing it beforehand would certainly make you stand out in the interview session. There you go guys, 5 tips to help you land a job in the oil and gas industry. Basically, it all comes down to your mindset and preparation. I can't say that these methods will guarantee your success in the application, but I'm certain that it will improve the odds. These tips are based on my own experience going through multiple walk-in interviews, second and third stage interviews, and even the long-term interview camp, and actually landed the job. Now, if you are already in the industry and you have more to add, please comment below to help our future undergrads land their dream job. If you find this video useful, do consider subscribing to my channel. I post videos about life as an academic, engineering tutorials, life advices, and general advices like this based on my experience. Do stay safe and push as hard as you can to achieve your dreams. Talk to you soon. Bye!